Hello and welcome to the Energy Connect studio at ADIPEC 2024. I'm delighted to have sitting next to me in the studio today, Stopkoski, the Senior Energy Transitions Manager at Nabors. Thank you, Carolina, for being with us.
Thanks, Jiranji, for having me here. It's a pleasure and a really good space for us to share our information and our technology, so I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. To start off, Nabors has a theme of transformation this year, and especially when it comes to drilling. So could you outline for us the role of drilling in lowering Scope 1 emissions?
Yes, absolutely. So as a drilling contractor, we are in a very unique position because we have the ability to make an impact into the CO2 reductions initiatives across the world. Traditionally, drilling is a very energy intensive operation where you have to produce affordable energy in order for those rigs to operate. So what we can do is impact the industry by making our efficiencies better, improving the way that we drill, reduction of our NPT, reduction on the operations and the processes, and automation is a big piece. And most importantly, we want to make sure that we are removing that diesel power efficiency as well, and that we're removing that necessity to produce diesel power generation. And we can do this by optimizing our use of renewable resources that are close to the rig. So electrification, use of natural gas, the use of artificial intelligence and automation to minimize how we are utilizing these engines becomes a really good place for us to impact and make our operations much more cleaner and more sustainable.
Now, from that legacy of drilling, what's the technology that you've seen with the most impact?
Yes, so technology is definitely giving us the path forward to be better drillers, right? We are enable our teams now to use automation, to use technologies, to use digitalisation to better plan their operations. And then these overall becomes an efficiency that allow us to drill faster and more sustainable, therefore creating a better environment for the operations overall.
While you sort of roll out these solutions, what are the challenges that you see that your clients sometimes might face, and how do you overcome them?
Yes, so that's a very good question. So as every new technology that comes into the market, we're faced with a couple of different difficulties of challenges that we have to overcome. One is typically it's high cost to come in and bring technologies to remote locations. So there is an impact both financially and from that logistics perspective that the operator and the drilling contractor have to both work together. Now, when we look at electrification as a great source of reducing CO2 emissions, there is an additional piece of that challenge, which is that now we have to bring the utility into it. So we need to work together, industry, operator, drilling contractor, and the utility to amplify and scale this ability to have our electrification of the rigs. Now, the second piece that you see as well is we have the ability of our teams to become comfortable with new technologies. That takes time, so there is a little bit of an adaptation challenge that comes into play. You have to change your processes, you have to train people. And then third, we see that digitalisation and the use of artificial intelligence, it also comes with financial impact as well as some operational know-how competencies that have to be built into the rigs. And we need to bring data. And the drilling industry has lots of data, but a lot of it is not really for predictive maintenance or for predictive operations. So bringing that competency and that capability of data acquisition into a more modeling predictive approach requires some knowledge base. So we see that as a challenge, but also as an opportunity for what we do. And it's a very interesting and exciting space that we're really looking to continue to involve and invest in. And in our company, we have made really quite great advances lately on all four fronts, trying to reduce costs, improve our logistics with our global friend footprint, and then making sure that our teams have the competencies and the know-how that they need to operate at the highest level of efficiency.
So that's an excellent point. And I wanted to ask you if you could share like a success story where you've made the most out of that opportunity.
Yes, absolutely, I can. So I think I will have to split this into different areas of success. So on the electrification front, we have been very, very successful at scaling our operations in the lower 48 in the US, because luckily we have been able to meet up the customers' needs by electrifying rigs. So we have our own in-house technology that we use as an interface to connect the rig to the grid. And this has given us the ability to have about 20% of our fleet running in electrification, doing about 400 plus wells in 2023, and on target for about 500 wells that will be drilled solely on electricity, renewable resources. So that to us has been a really successful story in the US. That gave us also an expansion area into Argentina, where we recently deployed our Highline module into the Neuquén area in Vaca Muerta. So that international expansion is something that we see electrification paving the way in markets such as the Middle East in the future, near term. And talking about the region, I'd like to also share a very good successful story we have in Saudi with LED lighting. LED lighting, or crowd lighting as most people in the industry would know it, is a small piece of the equation, but it can have a very significant impact. Typically in drilling rigs, you see 6 to 8 portable towers, sometimes 10. They use diesel to produce electricity and light our operations. When you put LED lighting, you're removing all of that. And even though it's not super impactful at a one rig, when you look at a fleet-wide operation, the impact is quite significant. So we recently did, we have put LED lighting with about 20 plus rigs in Saudi with our JV. And in 2023 and 2024, we've seen so far a reduction of CO2 emissions of about 808 metric tons. And again, for something that is quite easy, cost-effective, and quickly to deploy and can provide such an impact, is something that we're very proud of. We run that same technology in the US in 100 and plus rigs, and we see that the scalability and the easy to deployment, it really can create something quite significant in this area of the world as well.
That's innovation and sustainability working together.
Correct, exactly.
And finally, we are here at ADIPEC, the world's largest energy event. What are you exhibiting here, and what are your expectations?
So we are exhibiting our energy transition decarbonization portfolio. So the technologies I talk about, Highline, connectivity, LED lighting, engine management on the diesel consumption and CO2 front of reduction. But also as a drilling contractor and a technology provider, we are showcasing our ability of automation, our rig cloud data acquisition platform that we have as a driller, and then we're offering our services as a technology company of repairs, top drives, wrenches, catwalks, as can break, which is kind of like that artwork design. So here we are today showing our transformation, that we're here to stay, that we're here to continue to help the region to develop, and that we want to make sure that as we grow, we are sustainable, efficient, and we leverage the most energy clean resources that we can to continue to support the oil industry.
Carolina, it's been great talking to you, and thank you so much for being in the Energy Connect studio.
It's been a pleasure, and look forward to new opportunities, and I hope that the rest of your ADIPEC experience is fantastic.
Thank you. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow us on our social media and at energyconnect.com. I'll be back with more studio interviews from ADIPEC 2024. Stay tuned.